Good morning, Kansas City. Welcome to a wonderful episode today where we're going to talk about some real world learning. I'm joined today by a very involved person and graduate of Paseo Academy in the Kansas City Public Schools. We've been kind of running this thread where people have been maybe recommending the next person. And so, Hope Penner, thank you for giving me a suggestion here on talking to Brandon Calloway. Brandon is a very strong advocate for the community and is working in a nonprofit called Gift that I think he's going to tell us a little bit about, and something I think he is the founder and creator of. Also, I'll let him tell it because he'll know much better than I do. My small role is that I got to be the teacher way back when and worked at Paseo. So we have been contacting students and seeing if they'd like to come back as their no longer students and adults of this world and help us kind of see where they've been and what their path has taken them into, maybe some suggestions or some thoughts for the young people who might be listening. So that's me, and I'm going to turn it over to Brandon Calloway here and have us kind of walk us through what's been going on with you since 2008, sir.
Yeah, so since 2008, there's a lot has happened since 2008, and so like when I graduated in 2008, I immediately went into fitness, and so I got my first certification as a personal trainer in 2009. I spent a year in what is it, Pinnacle Career Institute, and got trained as a certified personal trainer. It was a great program. I got to go to Las Vegas to take the final test because it was a national program, and all of the sub programs met once a month in Las Vegas, where all the students who were ready to take the test were able to take the test. And so that was my intro into fitness and personal training. And then let's see, that was 2009. I spent probably 3 years in the Army, and so I did medical nutrition in the Army, which was rated to. I went from what was that? I spent a little bit of time in Virginia, in South Carolina, and most of my time in Texas, down at Fort Hood. I got to Fort Hood after the first Fort Hood shooting, and I left before the second Fort Hood shooting. And so I was fortunate in that realm. And then, I was in the Army for about 3 years and worked. And when I got out, I continued working as a trainer. And then I somewhere in between there, I started a little bit at Avila University for exercise physiology, and so I finished up my exercise physiology degree in 2016, and so I was working as a trainer. So I worked as a trainer, then I worked as somebody that trained trainers, and then I ran a few gyms. I ran a couple of my own personal training businesses, and then I eventually reached the point where the gym owners would hire me to run their gyms for them, and so that was probably from no, not even probably, so from 2008 to 2018, like that was what it was. It was getting my degree, spending that 10-year time in fitness, and with a little bit of the Army and military interspersed.
Wow, sounds productive. So not a lot of time off in those moments. It sounds like you were just nose to the grindstone.
Yeah. I mean, I knew I wanted to get my degree, and I wasn't gonna falter on that. But there was all these other things that needed to happen as well, and so
right.
So it had to happen. So it happened because it had to happen.
It leads to the next thing, and then the next perspective, and
right. And also because of the Army, I was able to pay for the Army was able to pay for my exercise physiology degree, um, and and yeah, I mean, I uh,
That's great.
college was great for me. I built a few pretty good connections. I minored in law, uh, and I interned at the prosecutor's office as an undergraduate law intern, which they don't have, but uh, they decided to have that year because I kept bugging them about it. And so yeah, I got to me and a few other people we got to do that, and which built me some relationships with some people in the political sphere and um, and in I mean really in the political sphere and in the prosecutor's office. Uh, but so in 2018, I climbed this every I tell people everybody does what they do because they want to make the world a better place. You could be a plumber, and that if you ask a plumber why they do what they do, they'll probably tell you something about, well, people's houses need to be clean and running efficiently, and so they are making sure that somebody's life is a little bit easier because
You're vital. Yeah.
the toilet works.
Yeah.
Same thing
Super important.
from a plumber to the the people that drive the trash truck to the mayor.
Yeah.
Everybody does what they do because they're looking for a sense of purpose. And some personal training is no different. And I got into fitness because I wanted to change people's lives and do. I wanted to create opportunity for people. So specifically, one of my goals was to help inner city students get college scholarships. And so I spent a little bit of time uh, in my early years of personal training as like a strength and conditioning coach at Northeast High School. So I was actually a football coach for the high
Yeah.
school.
We may have crossed paths and I didn't even know.
Yeah, yeah.
I bet so.
Uh,
I was up there I'm still up there all the time. So
yeah. Well, so actually, I mean, I did that in. Uh, I didn't tell any of the students how old I was because I graduated in 2008, and I did that in 2009. I was like, so the very next
wow.
year, I became a high school football coach. Uh, yeah, and so yeah, that was a little while ago. But my point was that when when I reached the point where gym owners were hiring me to run their gyms, I wasn't doing what I was trying to do, right? Like that was not my purpose. I didn't have time to train people. I wrote out the fitness programs, but I didn't have time to actually do it. Another trainer did.
Yeah.
I did a lot of sales, uh, and so I sold the personal training. I created, I was the one calling up other corporations and saying, hey, you should partner with our gym. Let me come in and talk to you about why. And so doing those business to business partnerships. And so all of those are skills that have been developed throughout the time in the army and through and just working in the fitness industry and learning sales. And I mean, really, that is relationship management. And so I decided that those skills would be better used in the nonprofit world. And so I moved from in 2018. I moved from fitness to nonprofit. Spent 2 years at United Way of Greater Kansas City, learning nonprofit and realizing that nonprofit nonprofit fundraising was exactly the same as fitness sales. Uh, and it's the same skill set. Um, if you, which is funny because if you ask the professionals that are in the field, they will tell you that it's not. They will tell you that it's something that you may need to go to school for. They will tell you that it's this fancy magical thing that you got to learn, and it's not. It's not. It is relationship management, and it's relationship management, sales, and customer service that and that create nonprofit
Yeah.
fundraising. Um, and so I was able to be pretty good at it. I was pretty good at it. Uh, and
Skills
and
brought from your earlier development, and that I keep hearing this on all these interviews. Like people make use of whatever that was that they did before, and
yeah,
and then you got to, right, because that you went through that development, you went through something, and then there's something you take from that, and then you add it to your next experience. So tell,
Yeah,
tell me, I'm super curious. Like this fantastic narrative, and it's building on itself, and it's telling me like you're finding a better use for yourself through the whole thing, right? And I can. So where does a comic book come in? Because I know that that's one of the things you sent me, and I was watching, and you got some skills there. When you were at Paseo, were you visual art?
No, I was a theater major at Paseo.
You were
I
theater,
was in.
okay. But
I
you
think
got
I was likely
you got the
in.
craft of the artiste
Yeah.
draw too. Yeah,
Yeah, so I'm not the illustrator. I mean
that's
I
a project. Oh, okay. So it's called.
yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I'm the creator of the comic book. It's called Black Spartans. I'm a creator of it. I'm the writer. Uh, I I've, I've spent about 2 years doing like the research and the world building and like creating the lore for it and all of that. Uh,
Cool.
and then I don't know, the past 6 to 7 months, uh, I've started making progress on actually contracting with an artist and bringing it to life.
Bringing it to life.
Uh,
Yeah. Do you want to? Let's take a look for a minute at a YouTube clip that you shared with me, and then we can come back on and talk about that too.
yeah, go ahead.
In the land of Listeria, demons, monsters, and mythical creatures roam the land in search of their next human snack. While those who are safely protected beyond the walls of one of the 6 great kingdoms can rest easy, the rest of the land is not so lucky. That is why hunter guilds exist. Made up of warriors who are bonded with a weapon that is inhabited by a spirit. Hunter guilds take on the task of keeping the masses safe for a price. Success as a hunter means fame, fortune, and honor beyond your wildest dreams. However, death at the hands of a dragon, oni, manticore, or any other creature is more likely to be a hunter's fate. Join Balbina, Dayanita, and Amara on their journey to become the best hunter guild of all time. Watch as they clash with demons, mythical creatures, and the inevitable run-in with the royal knights of the kingdoms. Will they obtain honor and fortune, or an early and painful death? Either way, you won't want to miss the adventures of the Black Spartans.
So take me back into that a little bit. Where does this project come from, and what's behind it?
Yeah. So there are a few things. And so I mean I've always been a huge anime fan. And so things like One Piece and Dragon Ball Z and Naruto and Yu Yu Hakusho, uh, all of those uh, all of those stories of a hero rising to the challenge to to meet this specific goal or to obtain this specific thing. So I've always been a huge fan, and uh, it was always weird to me that even though uh, the medium of anime and manga is Japanese, right? It comes from Japan. There's literally, I mean, anime is Japanese animation. Manga is Japanese comic books, basically graphic novels.
Sure.
And that in doing this, people have the ability to build any world that they want. Like you can literally create anything. And for some reason, there are never worlds of black characters. There are never like and when black characters are represented in the show, there's usually one or two of them. Like I was talking to one of my friends literally yesterday about this, and like in Naruto, the first black character they introduce you to happens to be a rapper, and it's like why, like
Right.
why, and so
A different version of a person, right?
right,
Right.
and so and so I've always been a fan of the medium, and I wanted to be able to see myself more represented in in this medium. And throughout my years, one of the things that I've learned is that if you want to do something, if you want something done,
Do it.
do it. Exactly. If you want something done, do it. If you want something, if you want to see something done, and you don't see it done, and you are complaining about it not being done, without recognizing that you could do it,
Can I tell you one? Mine is basically this little show that I realize nobody in our current school system ever hears back from people who came from our system about their lives and their success. And I started thinking, that'd be pretty easy to contact some people and ask them about their lives and their success. And, what I'm dreaming, even bigger, this would be a regular thing. I would love to do this mostly, it has been so rewarding. And then the contacts and the connections that are made are not over at the end of these interviews at all. And just kind of like stirring up the coals in the community. So, man, I tell you, and then somebody, like, I want you to recommend to me some people you would like me to talk to, or that you would, love to see come on here. And then it's just the neatest thing that organically started to grow. And I'll tell you, I started doing this instead of what they asked me to do, because I knew, sorry, district, that it would be a better communication to our students about what's missing, what they never get to hear about, are people who are successful, who come from, they were sitting right next to you in class. They were in the same supposed land of no opportunity, which is a real thing, but had something to do, to get there, to push, to play, and that maybe that's a myth that our classes are such lands of no opportunity, right? And that is also something we have to kind of challenge. And so I was excited to be part of that conversation, because I know the people that I have worked with over the years have gone on to do amazing, fantastic stories that people don't hear when we talk about Kansas City public schools enough. So let me stop there. Let me ask you for a final thought of, if you're talking to young people right now, because I know you have been, involved in so many different aspects of your own development and continuing to point it toward the community and making things better for people. Let me tell you, I've been doing the same work for a while, and it's powerful stuff. It is the real stuff. It's the stuff we should all be doing. So proud of your work and appreciative of you. What would you say to the young people who are out there who need a message right now? And I'm not even going to tell you what that message needs to be or is. What is that message right now?
Yeah. So I'm gonna try not to be long-winded with it, but I don't think I'll succeed.
You're a word guy.
Yeah. So just to answer that, just to back up a little, I want to back up a little bit and talk about GIFT. So generating income for tomorrow, nonprofit so I am the executive director and co-founder of this nonprofit with two other guys. And so what happened was that the three of us are in a Facebook group called BOBKC, Black Owned Businesses Kansas City. 15,000 people in the group, and one of the members said, he lived outside of Kansas City, and he was from Kansas City. He said, every time I come back and I come to the inner city, to the Black neighborhoods, I don't see as many Black businesses as I think I should see. And his point was that there's 15,000 people right here in this Facebook group. If we all put in $10 a month, it's $150,000 a month, $1.8 million a year. We could take that money and invest it in the Black businesses directly ourselves, and build up businesses. And so our goal is that we, give grants to Black-owned businesses, help them grow and expand and create jobs for the communities of color that they already exist in. And by doing that, we will be able to create a ladder of upward mobility and economic development that will revitalize the area for the individuals that live there without gentrifying. And so his frustration was just, I don't see Black businesses, we can do something about it, right? I didn't know the guy. I reached out to him and said, hey, that's a great idea. With my experience in nonprofit, we could probably make that happen. Let's do it. And one of his friends reached out to him and said, hey, that's a great idea. With my experience in marketing, we can make that happen. Let's do it. And so the three of us got together, and it was Chris's idea. Cornell wrote the message, and I created the whole plan of how it would actually work. And then we started fundraising. And so, long story short, we raised over $250,000. And so, I mean, that was back in April of 2020. April 30th, so May of 2020. And we raised to date, we raised over $250,000 during a pandemic. And because I lead it, I have had the opportunity to meet with people that, I mean, I meet with CEOs all the time. Like I had a meeting with the regional vice president of Bank of America. I meet with people that are considered big names.
Yeah.
And I meet with people that you think that person has to have done something special to get there. That person has to have some kind of special skill or possess something special that, other people don't. And what I have learned is that in no way, shape, or form is any of that true. That these big name people and these big wig people are there. The biggest, and so that going into why I felt empowered to be able to do the comic book. The biggest difference between somebody like me or somebody else who wanted to create their own comic book company and Marvel is that Marvel has more people that are willing to listen to them. It is not a difference in the level of talent. It is not a difference in the quality of story that needs to be told. It is not a difference in the ability to create, develop, and tell that story. It is simply a difference in the weight that is given to the words that they say. So my message to people that I have been giving to them any time that I can is that if there is something you want to do, go do it, because it is beneficial. It is beneficial for the people that come from the lands of opportunity, for that narrative to happen that, oh, well, these people over here don't have the opportunity. These people over here do have the opportunity. Therefore, their ideas are better. Their execution is better. They're smarter. They're just inherently better. And I mean, I've met with many CEOs that have admitted to me they have no idea what they're doing. Sure. I often feel like I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm running an organization. I'm running a $300,000 organization that will probably be a $500 to $1 million organization next year. And I mean, we are doing a great job. I am responsible for raising about 90% of our money. But there are still times where I don't feel like I know what I'm doing.
Sure. And that's real. People have this doubt of themselves when they care and want to do good work, right? That's kind of a little voice that stays with you. And the imposter syndrome is real, guys. So, but I think what happens, as long as that person, I came in pretty hard on myself in this new role and had to learn like crazy. This is my 4th year being the coordinator instead of a teacher. But it never really goes away because I want to still do a good job. But I'm not an imposter. I need to give myself credit. I do know what I'm doing. This is my 21st year in the field. So it's at some point, yeah, you do have to kind of kick in and be your own advocate, right? Have other people believe in you because you believe in yourself. And so if that's what this is kind of translating to out there for you, young people who are listening, or really anyone in Kansas City, this has been a fantastic chance to think about one person's growth and development since back there coming out of high school. And really, I think what's really fantastic about any of these interviews I do, and especially this one, is the amount of activity and experience that gets packed in after that time is over. Like, life starts being on fast forward. That when you told that 10 years, right? I'm amazed and I'm excited. I bet I know Cornell. Is it Cornell Ellis?
No, not Cornell Ellis. I'm meeting with him
Huh.
next week, but Cornell Gorman is
Cornell is a popular name. But even so, these networks and these groups that start to form, because you know that Cornell also, it's just great stuff, man. So hey, keep me in mind if you want to have any more of these discussions with people related to Kansas City Public Schools. If you want any involvement with your non-for-profit, I'm always interested in listening and being part of groups or thinking through anything that helps our city. But it's been a wonderful time to catch up and learn about you. We admittedly didn't know each other as much as some students when we crossed paths. So, and I was teaching for about 7 years by the time 2008 had come through. So again, I was in the middle of knowing what I was really doing. And just overall impressed with everybody, and especially, the way you're staying so on it. You got comic books, you've got projects, you've got non-for-profits, that I love it. So way to have the kind of multi-stream thing going on that young people are teaching me about too, because that's basically 2021, right? Like, do it on every level. Yeah. Have a little Facebook Marketplace account. Who knows, right? So, Brandon, it's been awesome. You want to say just 10 final words to set these people off for their wonderful day that they might have after they watch this in Kansas City?
Just if you have an idea or motivation or some reason to do, whether it's creating something or doing something, there's always going to be the doubt of if you can do it or not. And I just want to tell people the clear answer is you absolutely can.
You can do it. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Thanks for watching.